Hi guys, welcome to the panel discussion. We are discussing how to keep gaming content relevant in the coming times. We have our panelist with us, Mr. Pranav Panpalia, who is founder of Opera FX and OP Gaming. We have esteemed YouTubers like Gautami and Abhyudaya, who owns the channel Slaypoint,
Hi.
and we have Mansi with us, who owns a channel called Mac Plays, and she herself is a gamer. Welcome everyone, and
Thank you.
we'll keep this session very short and crisp. So let's start.
Yeah.
Like everyone, a question is for Mansi, especially. Like, when did you get into gaming?
So I started with gaming very early on because my elder brother used to play a lot of games. I would play GTA and all of those games with him. But like I got into gaming hardcore during lockdown when I had a lot of extra time. So I got into really got into gaming and would like play PUBG for like 7, 7, 8 hours at a stretch. So lockdown was the time when I actually mainly got into gaming.
Interesting, and I think you started your channel last year itself,
Yeah, I started my channel exactly like a year back.
and it's amazing to see your growth in just 1 year.
Thank you.
And next question is for Gautami and Abhyodaya. Like you guys create very fun and millennial centric content. So do you guys have any plans to get into gaming and create gaming content?
So we did start a gaming channel called Slay Pop, and we like to play whatever the hell we want to play on that channel. So that more, so gaming is a fun thing to do, right? So we thought let's just not try. So already on Slay Point, we take a lot of pressure and we follow trends. Sometimes we create new stuff on our own, and it's a lot of effort on that pace. So gaming is fun for us, and we wanted to keep it light that way. So we play all of the newer games that come out, all of the rare games, funny games on that page. And Slay Pop is kind of our outlet to just be ourselves.
Yeah, we go and find all the weird games that no one knows about, and then we make videos on them, so people are really surprised that okay, ऐसे games भी exist करते हैं. Yeah, that's what we do on Sleepo.
Question to you, Pranav. Like we have been managing content creators who are gamers and generic content creators as well. So what's your take on gaming, and do you plan to enter into gaming anytime soon?
Yeah. So I mean, as a business, we have definitely entered with a bang a year back, right? So, but personally, I don't see myself as a gamer because, of course, uh, being a gamer requires too much effort and too much time and like a lot of skill sets is needed. It's almost like being a professional sports player, right? So it can't be like a side job, definitely, right? So myself as a gamer, not. But if your question was like me as an entrepreneur entering gaming and venturing into multiple things that is related to gaming, yes, like the future in gaming is the brightest I feel for the next coming years, right? And we are going to be highly focused in participating in activities and startups and ideas around gaming. Yeah.
That's quite interesting take. So next question is for you. Like since the times are changing really fast, so how do you ensure that you create a content which is relevant to your audience, and especially in gaming, where almost every day there's a new game coming in, and there's a new type of content being generated by various gaming creators. So how do you stay relevant in such times? Mansi, you can start.
Yeah. So honestly, there are a lot of trending games that come up every day. So I don't really follow trends in that scenario. Like I just play games that I genuinely want to play, and I want audience to see like what's my take on that game. So I don't really follow trends or which game is trending. Obviously, sometimes you have to play games which the audience wants for their liking and all, but I don't majorly follow trends as such. And even when I play those games, I make sure like I'm not portraying myself like as a pro. Like for example, if I'm just starting to play a game, I won't show myself as a pro or something. I'd like to show the audience my journey of how I'm starting the game and learning games. So they also relate to the my gameplay and how I'm starting my journey with it. So those are a couple of things that I follow. And to obviously stay relevant, I kind of create different kinds of content, even in gaming and other than gaming as well, to just be like attract audience and keep them engaged with my just myself overall.
Our host left. He
I
didn't like your
I
answer.
think he didn't like my answer.
answer that question and
He-
keep the panel like on track. I think some internet issue or something he might.
yeah, so I think Gautam, you answered the question next.
He's back.
Yes.
Hi.
Some internet issue.
Yeah,
We thought you didn't like my answer, so you left.
Not at all. It was an amazing answer. Gautami and Abhyuday, how about you guys? Like you have been experimenting with different kind of games. So, what's your take on it?
when we started Slay Pop, we had anyway decided that we will not be playing any of the popular games. And personally, we are not even that much into PC gaming or mobile gaming. We just so he has a lot of consoles, and there are his favorite games that he started off with. And we wanted to do fun concepts in gaming. We never wanted to like play a game to play a game. We wanted to tell a story with the game. So sometimes we would like play GTA, but as um, Salman Khan or Shah Rukh Khan or somebody like that. And then what would they do in an open world kind of a game? Started making something fun like that, and also there are like extremely badly made games, which obviously people a pro gamer will not play, but us as entertainment creators, we were like, this is a gap that we have found, and we want to play these because they are funny. It's fun for the audience to watch and it's entertaining for us as well.
Games like Guru Bhai.
Yeah.
Pranav, what's your take on this? Like, what do you think? Like, how relevant is it to create content around gaming since the times are changing so fast?
I think, like strategically, I feel everyone should have some aspect of their YouTube journey or content creation that's associated with gaming. And this is purely on the economic side because the industry is booming. But at the end of the day, I would never recommend someone to do something that's not their passion, right? So if it's your passion, then you gotta do it. And even if like how Slay Pop does it, like I know Abhyuday personally, and these guys have uh, a part of them wanting, like he plays FIFA a lot, right? So he is not a pro gamer, but he enjoys playing games, and then doing Slay Pop with entertainment makes sense. But somebody just wanting to do gaming because it's trending should not be the case. They should do what they're best at. And to answer the question, like how does one stay relevant? I feel like the entire journey of pro gamers, that what we noticed the last year when PUBG got banned was a content creator should not be dependent on the game, right? Because they are coming for the game, and at the end of the day you have to create a personality and you have to showcase your personality in the best possible manner and get connected to your audience. uh, because the moment a situation like that can happen again, I hope it never comes, but if it does, you should be able to attract audience to whatever game that you guys are playing. So yeah, that is one way of creating relevancy. And probably gamers should talk more about their personal life or open up to their audiences and get connected with them, so that whatever game they play, they should come and watch.
Absolutely. That's a really interesting point you made on how to stay relevant with your audience. Moving on to next question, like what genres of game do you think will be popular in future in India, just to keep your audience relevant. Adding to the previous question, Pranav, I think maybe if you would like to take this question.
Yeah, so I feel the most popular will be Battle Royale, which is right now, and it's going to be the case in the future as well. Open world games are going to be really big. I feel as technology advancement and income per person increases, VR games are going to be big as well in the next 5 years. The entire ecosystem of your friend circle meeting inside of a game is going to be something like a meta universe of a scenario is going to be really big in the coming future. But of course, for India, I feel like battle royale and like multiple, like right now there are very few battle royale games that have entered and are actively doing stuff in India, and eventually there are going to be a lot of other games that are going to come. But I feel these are, of course, like a lot of strategy games are also going to come. But as and when the audience sort of matures, these games are going to get the due attention. But these top three, I think, Meta Universe and open world games and FPV games.
Over to you, Mansi. Like since you have been playing open world games for a while, like GTA
Yeah.
and Minecraft, so what do you think? Like what kind of games will be more relevant in future?
I think open world games are going to continue for the next 5 to 6 years in minimum because people are taking huge interest in them. And I specifically think VR games will be really, really big in some time because that's just a different kind of engagement you can have with the game because you can get immersed in the game and that will have it's just different kind of rush to be inside the game and block everything around you. So VR games are going to be really, really big. And I think that sometimes, especially in India right now, PC gaming is not that big, which is getting a very small percentage of people are really into PC gaming. So with time, when we technologies develop in India, when we can get gaming PCs at an affordable budget, which certain tech companies are working on right now, PC gaming is also going to be huge in India. Right now, PC gaming is more like one of the most popular platforms in West, but in India, there's some time to go. So I think in a couple of years we'll get there as well.
That's an interesting take on what kind of gaming content would stay relevant in future. Over to you guys, Gautam and Abhyodaya. Like you have been creating a very fun content around gaming, and I definitely think that your content is going to stay relevant in future as well. But I would like to know your take on this. Like what plans do you have for future in playing those interesting games?
Our plans?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for us, I think we have to keep reinventing. That's why a lot of times we don't really depend on games that can only be played on the console or can only be played on PC. We keep changing. We keep going from mobile games, console games, and we also play offline games. Like we made a video while playing Carom. So we try doing a lot of things, and the focus, like Pranav said, is should be on the creator, and that's what we try to do, that no matter what game we play, people come to watch. So it's more about showing our personality in every game that we play, and it really doesn't matter which game we are playing. It's just about what we do and how we are reacting to things.
Because if you play badly, I think that's content.
Yeah.
Unless you want to compete on an esports level, then you can't play badly because you'll be the laughing stock in a bad light. But otherwise, you can have fun.
Absolutely, and adding to the current question, like how important is entertainment in like creating a gaming content or in general content? Like, does skill play an important role while creating a content, or it's purely from an entertainment point of view? You guys create content.
I think it depends from channel to channel. For us, it's not about skill at all. It's just about entertainment. But for someone who's like a pure gamer who wants to compete in different competitions, I think then, yeah, people come to see the skill. People come to learn from them. But in our case, I don't think anyone comes to learn gaming from us. They just come to have a good time, enjoy their 5 minutes. So yeah, it depends on the
I've
creator.
seen on pro gamer streams, like their skills are so good that even if they don't talk for 15-20 minutes at a stretch, people don't mind because they're really wanting to see how that player is playing. So in that sense, it works. But if you want to be extremely relevant long term, I think a little bit of personality will definitely go a long way. A little bit of entertainment or something to make the audience bond with you will always help.
Absolutely, that's really the entertainment is really the essence of keeping the audience connected and irrelevant. Over to you, Pranav. What do you think? Like entertainment versus skill, what plays a major role, and why do you think so?
So I think like these guys answered it correctly. There are two types of gamers, and which is one is entertainment and the second is pro, right? But over a period of time, we have noticed that even internationally, the pro gamers who do really well long term are the ones who are playing pro, but at the same time are entertaining during their streams, right? Are interacting with their audiences, answering their reading their chats, and having a fun take on whatever the chats talking about. So definitely entertainment is very important, and that is the aspect which lets the audience connect with the gamer. And on the other hand, I feel like for entertainers, it's pretty cool and pretty easy in terms of connecting with their audience, because that's what they do, right? And gaming becomes a platform to create content for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Mansi, what about you? Like, you have been gaming for a while now, and where do you see, like, is it entertainment, is it skill, or is it a balance of both?
I feel there should always be a balance of both because when you're talking about skills, as Jay Point said, if you're in esports or something, skill is super important. That's the most important thing. If you're connecting with the audience or not, that's secondary. The first thing is obviously your skills. But if you're focusing on content, you should always focus on maintaining a relationship with your audience in a way where even if the game that you're playing today, like for example, I'm playing Minecraft, and after 2 years, if Minecraft is irrelevant, no one wants to watch Minecraft, they still come to watch me as a person. So you should have that kind of connect with the audience because like we never thought like PUBG would get banned instantly. Like no one thought like something like that could ever
Mhm.
happen. But the people who had a relationship with the audience are still sustaining. So that's the thing. If you're looking to create content, you should have a connect with your audience.
Great. Then I think it's a unanimous thing that entertainment is what what keeps you relevant and what keeps the audience engaged. Moving on to the next question, since you guys have been creating content which has been specific to a specific age group, do you feel that creating a regional specific content will help you, or maybe uh, you know get your content from point A to point B? So over to you guys, Gautami and Abhyodaya. What do you guys think? Like, will regional content play important part?
Well, regional content is a huge market, and earlier when we began, we started making videos in English, and that was good at the time. And then the whole Geo revolution started, and we started getting bombarded with comments like "तू इंडिया से है, तू हिंदी बोलने में क्यों शर्माता है," and that kind of stuff. And that's when that shift. So before, like if you remember, pretentious movie reviews by Kanan and Biswa and all of that was all in English, and our stand up and even AIB, the references that they used to make and the
Mhm.
crowd that they used to appeal to was more of a tier one kind of crowd. And after Geo, that's changed a lot. And now I've seen channels who make videos in Marathi, in Bengali, in Tamil, Telugu, this and that, and they're huge. They've all reached like 1-2 million subscribers, and they get consistent amount of views as well. Even on Instagram, a lot of creators who are making content more for a massy kind of a audience in a particular language is working much better. Even we had to shift from English to Hindi, so there's definitely a market there, but we are sticking to Hindi for now because I think we want to target the entirety of India. And if there are parts of India which don't speak Hindi that much, and so we add English subtitles as well, so people do watch from other parts who don't understand Hindi. So that's I think our take on this.
What about you, Pranav? Like, what do you think as a businessman, as an entrepreneur?
So I
How?
feel it's like breaking geographies is super important, and I think one guy, and I think this is something that we and Slay Point were also discussing back then. Like Mr. Beast is someone who's doing brilliant with this. Like he's creating English content, and he's opening up. He's getting all of his videos dubbed in multiple languages to appeal to different countries, right? Like he's already begin Spanish content. He's already done he's planning on doing Hindi videos as well, because if you want to tap into a larger market. I feel like as a content creator, it'll be difficult to create a very specific content for multiple regions. But at least the only thing that you can do is get these video dubbed and get subtitles dubbed in like different languages across India, across even international waters is something one should look at.
That's an interesting, really interesting take on what how important the regional content is. Mansit, would you like to share your thoughts, like
I think you've
on?
pretty much said it all, but just to add, like even if you're looking from a brand's perspective and you're making regional content, some brands particularly want to focus on a particular area, on a particular region. So for them, regional content is really, really important. So even in terms of monetization, if you're making regional content, you could really benefit out of it. And other than that, if you're making content in Hindi, that's pretty much appeal to the entire India. And eventually, when you grow bigger and bigger, you want to target global people. You'll have to eventually, at some point or the other, tap into the regional markets and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it.
That's really an interesting take on it. Moving on to next question, like you know, uh, the current watch span is like around 3 minutes. So do you and you guys create content around like a shorter duration of time? So do you think like moving into a longer format of content creation like live streaming would help you keep your audience relevant, or maybe bring in more audience compared to the ones you are getting from the short format? Uh, Gautami and Abhyudaya, what do you guys think?
I think for sure there is a part of audience that really, only watch live streams. There are those people as well. But I think for us, what we consider is, can we do live streams? Can we be entertaining enough to, keep people engaged for like 2 hours? That is something that we don't have the confidence in. So it depends on every creator. For us, I don't think we can. Currently, we are ready for live streaming and we don't really have many ideas. But yeah, for someone who really is good at playing, who can entertain and also has good skills in gaming, I think for them, it's really good to live stream because people will really watch their gameplay as well and not just their commentary.
Actually, Mansi, what's your take on this? Like, since you have been a gamer, and do you plan to move to a live streaming in
I do
future?
actually. I will probably start live streaming 2 3 months later. I'm just getting ready for it. But as I said, live streaming is not an easy job, honestly, to keep the audience engaged for 3 to 4 hours at a stretch. There's some people who do it really, really nicely. Like for example, Techno Gamers, he does it really nicely because when you're playing the game and streaming it, you have to explain every element of the game you're playing, and you have to continuously speak and keep the audience engaged for hours at stretch, and that's not really an easy job because when you're creating content, you have a lot of tools to use. You can edit it out or something like that, but in live streaming you have to be really, really spontaneous. And also I feel back then it used to be a case like gaming was only associated with live streaming. Like live streaming used to be the only thing like gamers would be expected to do, but now gaming has become much more than that. So even I think probably gaming content is sort of getting into the power of live streaming currently. So I think right now people are watching both live streams as well, and gaming gameplay videos both. So there's a market for both of them. So eventually, I think 3 4 months later, when I'm ready, I'll get into live streaming.
Absolutely. And just adding to the that question, do you think like lately the YouTube's algorithm has shifted more towards the long format content, which has created more long format content creators and documentaries quite popular on YouTube? Do you think so?
I think YouTube is shifting more towards short form content rather than long form content. Like right now, if you see, like shorts are getting recommended very, very often, and you usually see a lot of shorts recommendation in your timeline, even if you've never watched a single short. So yeah, I think YouTube is getting slightly inclined towards short form content because people's span of attention is getting lower and lower because of TikTok and Reels and stuff like that. So yeah.
Thanks a lot, Mansi. Moving on to Pranav. What do you think? Like, what's your take on this?
On short form content.
No, no. So, like, moving on to longer format content, like live stream from the shorter format content, like, does it help? Do you think, like, as a manager of top content creators, do you think them moving to a longer format of content creation will help them gain a larger chunk of audience, or staying relevant to the shorter format keeps them more relevant to the audience, sticking to the shorter format.
I think not. I mean, of course, the good part about live streaming is when people are tuned into a live stream, they really feel like they are actually talking to the person who's streaming, right? So of course the
Mhm.
bond is a bit higher, but at the same time, what I have noticed with YouTubers especially is like it is not short form content like any which way these guys are creating 10 to 15 minutes long videos, right? And as a habit to connect with the audience, YouTubers do very often open up and like talk about themselves, and hence like Q&A videos are like really big, right? So there is a lot of that keeps on happening for audiences to uh, like interact with the content creator. But yes, I feel definitely like the connection for with live streamers is definitely higher than the others.
Absolutely, and live
Yeah.
streamers,
Yeah. But the
they
only
have
thing with
been.
live streaming is like the viewership is not as big as what you would expect with a shorter form content, which is also longer form content if you think about it. Like 10 minutes is not short form content, but uh, as compared to live stream, yes, yeah,
Absolutely, and the live stream people are I've seen like Mavi Scout or anyone who's goes live anywhere, like on Loco or
yeah,
YouTube. It's just like thousands, like they get like lakhs of users waiting for them to start playing games.
correct.
So so what do you think? Like why such a difference? Like like even they get like millions of views on the live streams, but
Yeah.
do you think that a content creator who has not been into live stream will be able to pull off such numbers, considering just an entertainment, just being into an entertainment part, just considering the entertainment part to rephrase it?
Like gamers being able to do more numbers.
No, no, I mean the content creators like Slaypoint,
Yeah,
who create a shorter format content, which is
yeah.
not much into gaming or pro gaming, I would say. Like, will like how do you think, like, will they be able to pull a larger audience while they go into gaming or into a longer format of video?
Yes, in terms of pulling audience, I feel what they're doing is more efficient than streaming,
Hmm.
because the YouTube algorithm sort of suggests quicker content as well. So they reach a massier audience that way. Live streams needs like if for example the most viral live stream that I have been a part of is this one charity event that Slaypoint and Mythpat did together, which got
Hmm.
like 10 million views
10
in
million views.
4 to 5 hours. Right, that
Hmm.
was the biggest live stream I feel there was in India. But the entire hype behind this was because all of these big influencers who were a part of it had to talk about it, were posting stories and everything. So there was a lot of that, but against a normal upload that Slaypoint does, right, which
Hmm.
is a normal upload that they do every week, they do end up
Right.
getting 10 million views on those videos, right? So I feel like it's the other way around that way. Like if a
Hmm.
live streamer ends up creating very crisp content, that could go the length in terms of helping them identify newer audiences. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And moving on to the next question, there's a wave of creators right now, like on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. So there's a question from audience, in fact, if someone wants to begin now with a content creation, be it a shorter format or a longer format, is it the right time to begin with the content creation? That is one point. Second is how, what platforms they should start with, and third is how what's the content they should start with, like what's the topic or what's the scene they should pick up while creating the content. Gautami and Abhyuday, you guys can take on this question again.
Essay as such, right time to begin in this space. So I don't know, because everybody says जैसे before Jio, when Bhuvan and Ashish and all these people had started, people were like, "वो right time था," because that time you made a mark on people. Then when Jio gave a boom of audience to everyone, तब everybody started saying, "नहीं वो right time था, तब बहुत audience बना सकते थे." Now people are saying so many new channels are coming up, and they are also making space and reaching 10-20 million subscribers in a span of a year or two. So people are saying, "अभी right time है." So I really don't believe in the right time. I believe in the right people. They can create the right time for themselves. If your content is good enough, even if the market is saturated, you're going to push everyone out of the way and you're going to be on top. It's about what you bring to the table.
I think one shouldn't waste time thinking about what is the right time for them. I think you should just start and then you'll figure things out yourself.
Yeah, because it's a process to learn how to make videos also. People just see something online and they think ये तो 2 दिन में बन गया होगा. When they actually sit to do it, they'll realize that no matter how good a speaker they are, speaking in front of a camera is different. Writing a script for a YouTube video is so different. The way you edit it in a snappy way, make it interesting, so different. It's going to be a journey to even learn it first.
And what platform should they start with? Is it like a specific platform they should start with, or like they can start with any of it?
They can start with anything, depends on what type of ideas do they get. So if somebody consumes a lot of reels and then unke dimag mein sara din wahi gaane bajte and then they get only ideas like that, so if that is easier for you, then start with that, you know, and then eventually you will realize, okay, you have more creativity in you, you can write something longer, then come to YouTube or make an IGTV, fine, you know, but you figure based on what you like to watch first, and then wo platform doesn't matter.
And adding to the same question, like does YouTube algorithm play any role while editing a content piece?
No, not really, because I think algorithm simply favors good content. I mean, of course, good content means you're getting enough retention, you're getting enough watch time. So as long as you can make a good content piece that is long enough and people are watching the entire thing, YouTube algorithm will suggest it. So I think the main focus should be about making good content. If you start thinking about algorithms and all those things, you're making it too complicated and then you won't focus enough on your ideas. So I think you should just focus on making a good video and YouTube will do the rest.
Absolutely. Over to you, Mansi. Like, you know, what do you think? Like, since you have been relatively new and you are the perfect example of the right time to start is now. So, what do you suggest to our audience that when do they start creating content, or should they wait for the right time?
Even when I was starting, the market was way too saturated, and like I had this thought, obviously, ki now the gaming industry has boomed a little bit, so is this the right time for me to start? But I don't really think there's a right time, as long as you're bringing something new to the table. It could be anything. It could be a script, it could be a new game, it could be a new way of storytelling, new of editing, anything at all. People are going to watch you, and platform or anything honestly doesn't really matter. It just depends on you and what kind of videos you want to create. If you want to create 15-second, 30-second videos, Instagram would be the platform for you. If you want to create longer form content like 9 minutes, 10 minutes, YouTube would be the platform for you. And as they mentioned, like watch time and CTR, and those are the metrics that work the best on YouTube. So you can't really do anything about it. You just have to focus on making a video, and if people actually like it, they'll click on it more, they'll watch it more, and that's how YouTube algorithm will work and suggest it to more people. So you don't really have to worry about the right time or anything like that. Like for me personally, I noticed it like I expected like within 6 months, if I get 50,000 subscribers, I'd be like really lucky and I would have made a mark. But thankfully, it's been like a year almost, and I have like over 5 lakhs. So I think there's no right time. Just start it. Like just start it. Don't think about anything. Just start it, and you'll see where it goes.
There's a question for you, Pranav. Do you think that gaming as a content a category is untapped in India, and do you see its potential growing in like coming years as a entrepreneur? Do you think like you know it will boom in future?
So on the business side, I feel yes, it's pretty untapped. Like we're sitting at probably 10% of the entire space that is even considering gaming. There is 90% of brands that are, of course, curious about learning what exactly is gaming, how can we integrate, how can we partner, how can we speak to gamers and what can be done, right? So there's a lot of knowledge that needs to be spread, and there's a lot of understanding about how gamers and their audiences can benefit these brands, right? And that would be on the brand aspect. And of course, gaming and startups in gaming are also just picking up right now, but I think we're pretty much moving at a very good pace. There are really new and cool startups, be it in app developments, be it in game publishers. Indian game publishers are coming up. Companies like yourself, Loco, is doing very well. Like, till the time like the international players have not come in, Twitch and all, like, but Indian companies have thought of giving it a start. So I feel the next 4 to 5 years is going to be really bright, like I previously mentioned.
Absolutely, absolutely. Gaming is, I think, it's just the tip of the iceberg we are at right
Correct.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
Moving on to the next question, in like you mentioned brands in gaming. So, how are the brands leveraging their reach via gaming? And do you think that there'll be a stage where brands will expect ROI in any collaboration they do with the gaming content creators? Pranav, if you can
I
take this.
mean, there is nothing that brands do that they never expect ROI. That's the first thing that they do, spending a penny. So I feel ROI is still expected, even if we're at the beginning of it, right?
Hmm.
And the good part is, whenever we work with brands, there is a lot of repetitive business that's been coming to us, because anyone who's even trying and experimenting working with gamers is realizing the potential and the connect these guys have over the Gen Z audience, is what we call, and the the connection and the selling power of these gamers is really high, and brands are seeing it. It's just a matter of time how uh, everyone in this space. So for example, like when I started influencer marketing 4 years back, the concept of influencer marketing was fairly new, and when I was interacting with brands, I had to tell them about the concept. I think this is where I am at a position where we're telling brands of multiple ways we can connect with gamers and partner with and create a gaming campaign, be it a generic or non-generic brand, endemic brand, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, I think more and if brands are here, you should be figuring how can a gaming campaign be created.
Absolutely, absolutely. And brands are always like, the newer brands can potentially look for a reach rather than ROI per se. Like, it's
Correct.
what you say. And the question for you, Gautami and Abhyuday and Mansi, there's always a trend or a fad which comes in between, for content creators. And how important is it to ride that wave? Like recently that Rasode mein kaun tha wave was thing was trending. So how important is it to stay relevant in that kind of trend and create content to make most of it?
Well,
Gautami.
uh,
I mean, these guys are the trendsetters, so they create bigger memes than and trends than Rasode Mein Kaun Tha.
True.
No, no, I was just using that an example, but
Yeah.
you get the context of what I'm
No,
trying to
I
say.
feel like someone like me, for me, it's important to ride the trend and get some growth out of that. But for someone like Stable into the trend setters, like something like Vinod, that was a trend and people banged on it so much. So it basically depends if you're like the trend setter or you should be hogging on trends and getting views. So for them, they're trend setters.
it depends on trend to trend. I mean, for us, it's very like if I have some thoughts on it, I'll speak
Yeah.
about it. Otherwise, unnecessarily, if I feel like, chalo, I know trends give you a lot of views and people want to hop from trend to trend, but I feel like if you grab onto too many trends, that will also be kind of a downfall for your channel. जैसे पहले बोल रहे थे, if you keep playing the same game, so people are watching you for that game and not for your own self. So if you keep following trends, eventually it will be like जब आप ट्रेंड पे वीडियो बनाते हो तो ही आपकी वीडियो चलती है, जब आपको एक्चुअली अपने पसंद के टॉपिक पर बात करनी है देन पीपल विल नॉट वॉच. So we don't want that ever for our channel. We learned that beforehand when we used to make videos on Bollywood movies itself. So तब से we are very sure about the fact कि trend पे कुछ अलग सबसे हटके कुछ ऐड करने के लिए है तो do it. Otherwise there's no point. Everybody's gonna say the same thing. Oh ये कितना बेकार है, oh ये कैसा है, ये वो कैसा, और recreating it. That's it. So then what more are you adding from yourself?
Right. So I think the conclusion is that be it content creation or be it any business, staying relevant to your long-term vision is something which is more important than jumping onto the trend. And with that, I think we are at the end of our session. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks a lot, Pranav, Gautami, and Abhyuday and Mansi for joining and sharing your insights. It was really great, and I hope audience also liked this session.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for having us.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you
thanks
guys.
to Pepper
Thank you
Content.
Karan, for the questions and the audience also.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys, and we hope that we answered all your questions.